Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's ATP Tokyo preview and prediction time. We are going to get into the Asian swing, and I'm excited for it because this is now that part of the year where you have these really interesting matchups and tournaments. There's some potentially weary legs, and you will get some entertaining matches because of that. And last year, of course, we had her catch winner, the Shanghai Masters, beating Andre Rublev in a really exciting final. And players like Alcaraz and Sinner, they may not be performing as well, but some of the other players, they really tend to step up at this time of the year, and they want to make a big push, of course, as well to the ATP finals because there's still some spots up for grabs there. We've also just had the US Open. Some players have played Davis Cup on top of that and then played Laver Cup as well to add to that. So we'll see how players fare for the next few weeks and even months as we approach the end of the year. But there's some great tournaments on show, and we're going to get into this one where Ben Shelton is a defending champion. Played a really good tournament last year, Ben, and he's of course one of the premier young talents in American tennis, and I think you could argue world tennis as well. A really exciting talent, as we saw at the Laver Cup only a couple of days ago now, or even a day ago. And Taylor Fritz is the number one seed. And before we do get into the rest of it, though, remember that like button, do subscribe if you're new, and do leave a rating or review if you're listening on a podcast platform. We appreciate each and every one of you. Also to our members who are contributing on YouTube to monthly memberships. You guys are absolute legends, honestly. It really is helpful. So we appreciate it when you guys do get involved with that. And obviously no obligation for anyone to do so, but if you can, it does help us a lot. And that's the reason why we're able to go to tournaments like Wimbledon and Atlanta, and we're trying to go to others. So, any help is greatly appreciated, and your support is what's most important as well. In terms of the qualifiers, then for Tokyo, before we get into the draw, because there are some qualifiers that are yet to be confirmed. There are 4 qualifying matches remaining, and out of that, of course, there will be there'll be some qualifiers coming out of these matches, but some pretty dangerous players in the roster for qualifying. And actually, interestingly, some, you could argue, upsets, people like Muller losing, which is a little bit of an upset, you could say. But the number one seed, Mikkelsen, is still in qualifying. He plays Borna Coric. I mean, both of those players are going to be really dangerous to whoever draws them in the first round. Van der Schulp as well had a really good, of course, US Open, beating Alcaraz, and he has Luca Nardi, who's a really exciting young Italian, in one of the other qualifying matches. Taro Daniel has O'Connell. Both players can be dangerous. And Matteo Bellucci versus Hijikata. Again, both players have been, looking pretty good this year. And I say, pretty good. It's all relative, of course, but these guys are definitely all worthy of a place in the main draw, you would say, if they're playing at close to their best level, and they could definitely be a dangerous opponent for anyone in the first round. So then let's get into the draw, the main draw. And Taylor Fritz has Arthur Fields in the first round. That's a really tough first round, by the way, for Fritz. I mean, if you're going to draw an unseeded player, he's probably one of the last people that you'd want to draw. So probably not the best for Fritz, and he's just come off playing Laver Cup as well. It's going to be interesting to see how he holds up. I'm actually going to go for the upset and go for Arthur Fields. I just think Fritz is going to feel it a little bit. I do. And I know they're not playing until I think it's Friday. So he will have some time to recover. It's been a long few weeks for him, and a couple of very successful weeks, of course, with him making the final of the US Open. But that can be very mentally taxing. And they're not on top of that, then playing Laver Cup as well. I just think it's a lot to take in for him. So yeah, I'm going to go for Arthur Fields. Matteo Berrettini has a qualifier, so as I said, it could be one of those players mentioned previously. I think Berrettini should be able to get through whoever he does play, as long as he's fully fit. I saw him in a clip playing against Holger Rune, and he looked okay, no strapping by the looks of it. Looks like hopefully he's fine and at least close to full fitness, which is what he'll need to get through these types of matches and then really kick on. Navone versus Darderi is one of the other first round matches. I'm going to go for Darderi for that one. And then we've got, oh my gosh, Battle of the Serve Bots, as I like to call it. Riley Opelka versus Ben Shelton. I mean, Shelton has definitely got more to his game than that. And even Riley Opelka, I mean, he's not got a bad forehand. And, I think it's a bit harsh for me, although he's a self proclaimed serve bot. But Ben Shelton definitely does have a lot more variety to his game than Opelka. Look, I mean, he's a defending champion. He'll be really up for this. He's young. He's also been playing a lot of tennis, though. A lot of tennis. Also played the Laver Cup and didn't make a particularly deep run at the US Open, but it's been a busy year for him. I'm actually going to go for him to get through that one, though. I just think he'll be able to. I don't think it's as tough a test as Arthur feels. I know Opelka serves big, I get that, but his return game leaves a lot to be desired at times, and I think as soon as they get into rallies, it's going to be difficult for him. So I'm going to go for Shelton. Casper Ruud versus Jordan Thompson. Again, Ruud was playing Laver Cup. He Look, I mean, this is an interesting one because I'm not quite sure which way this goes. In honesty, and actually, sorry, excuse me. Even it's going to be Wednesday, so they're not going to have that much time to recover. So I said earlier it'll be Friday for Taylor Fritz, but it'll be Wednesday. So then I'm actually, I think, pretty not confident, but I don't think it'd be a surprise if Arthur Fields upsets Fritz given the quick turnaround. Casper has Jordan Thompson. I mean, Thompson's been playing some really good tennis this year. He's made, he's caused some upsets. He's beaten some top players. He's made some deep runs of tournaments. I'm actually going to go for Thompson to get the win here. And then Cilic plays Nishikori in what is a replay of the US Open final quite a few years back now. And look, I mean, it's great to see both these players getting a go of it. And Nishikori has been showing some flashes, and he's definitely not the player he once was, but it's great to see him really competing out there, and same for Marin Cilic to start making a running. I'm going to go for Cilic to get through that one, like he did in that US Open final. Felix Auger-Aliassime versus Nishioka. Nishioka playing at home, as Nishikori will be as well. I'm actually going to go for Nishioka to get through that one. Tabio and Holger Rune. Tough one for Rune. Tabio's been playing some really good tennis. Lost 2 tiebreakers to Dimitrov only a few days ago at the Laver Cup, and he's got a tricky game. He does. Holger Rune has had a turbulent season, to say the least, but I think I'm going to go with him to get through that. He's had some time. He lost the first round of the US Open, so he's had some time to get to grips, hopefully, with that loss, then also really put in the hard yards behind closed doors. Tommy Paul, Matteo Arnaldi. Oh my gosh, this is one of the most athletic, explosive matchups you will see. Tommy Paul and Matteo Arnaldi, very similar players, like hit big off the ground from the baseline, extremely athletic. Both got pretty good hands. They're kind of all-round players, but very dynamic and athletic. And I just think there's going to be some phenomenal points in this match. This is a must-watch. This is my match to watch, I think, for the first round. It's tough because if Arnaldi plays the level that I've seen, some of that top level I've seen from in the past, I mean, he could beat almost anyone on tour, honestly. Still very raw, though. I'm going to go for Tommy Paul to get through that one. He didn't play Laver Cup, so should be pretty fresh. I think he pulled out, actually, if I'm not mistaken, because of injury, so hopefully he's fit for that. Alexei Poprin and Thomas Mahak. I'm going to go Poprin, given his season so far. Echeverry plays a qualifier. Echeverry, Tsitsipas gets the qualifier. TFO Nakashima. Yeah, Nakashima. I've been thinking about this for a while, and that Nakashima is going to surely at some point really make a good go of it, get some consecutive wins under his belt, really find some form and hit a purple patch. And it seems like he could be starting to approach that. He obviously he won the Next Gen finals. I think it was last year now, or maybe the year before, and hasn't kicked on as you might have expected. But, he's shown some real flashes of that quality. So I'm going to go for Nakashima. I think TFO as well. Look, I think mentally, physically, he could be a bit fatigued as well from the last couple of months. Mochizuki, wildcard plays Umber. We'll go for Umber. Umber loves these types of conditions. Draper, good to see him in the draw. He plays qualifier. I'll go for Draper. Obviously, a really good US Open run, making the semi-finals and looked extremely solid. Her catch to beat Giron, I think. So round 2 got Fields and Berrettini. Tough one to call. On a hard court, I'm going to go Berrettini. If it's on clay, maybe Fields, maybe. Shelton to beat Darderi. Thompson to beat Cilic. Rune to beat Nishioka. I'm going to go with Popperin to beat Paul. Bit of an upset there. Tsitsipas Echeverry. I mean, Tsitsipas could easily lose this, but I think he'll take a bit of confidence from that win over Kokkinakis because he lost him at the US Open and then he destroyed him at Laver Cup. And I know the environment's different. I get it, but the level that he was playing was quite impressive. If he can bring that level and now run with that for the rest of the year, he'll put himself in a decent position. So we'll go Tsitsipas. Nakashima, Umber will go for Umber. And Draper, her catch. It's a tough one. Both really good servers. I'd say Draper's better off the ground. Her catch's got really good hands at the net. It's quite wily. I'm going to go for Draper. Would be a big upset, I think, on paper. Quarterfinals I've got then are Berrettini, Shelton, Thompson, Rune, Popperin, Tsitsipas, and Umber, Draper. Right, okay, so I'm definitely going to go for Thompson over Rune. I just feel it in my bones. Popperin, Tsitsipas. Go Tsitsipas. Berrettini, Shelton. This really depends on, as I said, the Shelton that's able to show up. Come back to that. I'm gonna go for Umber and Draper, two lefties. I get the feeling Draper doesn't really like playing lefties for some reason. I'm gonna go for Umber, not just because he lost to Nori recently, but I just feel like his game doesn't quite translate as well. I think he struggles with them. Shelton and Berrettini. I think we're gonna go for. I want to go for Berrettini. You know that. So we've got a Berrettini Thompson semi-final and Tsitsipas Umber semi-final. Interesting. Okay, I'm going to go for Berrettini or Thompson. Berrettini and a Tsitsipas final. This is again assuming that Berrettini's fit. Berrettini Tsitsipas. Who do I pick to win that? You know what? I'm going to go for Steph. I'm going to say that he's going to finally start finding a bit of form. He's going to play through this tournament or plow through this tournament and make sure he picks up the crown at the end. So that's our prediction. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. Remember that like button. Do subscribe if you're new. And do leave a rating review if you listen on a podcast platform. Appreciate each and every one of you. Got some really exciting things in the works. So please be patient with us. I know we haven't been quite as active post US Open. We will be very soon. And there's going to be some exciting projects, I think, for you guys to get stuck into. And hopefully we'll really enjoy it as well. Thank you very much, guys. Stay safe and well. We'll see you on the next video.